Welcome NOSSCAR Brighton Truck Series race fans, and NOSSCAR Brighton Truck Series Tuesday continues. He's Puddin', I'm Timac. This is the Horsepower 225 in-race reporter Charlie Irwin here with us, and we're green flag at Kentucky Speedway. We're racing. Puddin', how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me back up here. We just saw one heck of an exciting race at Pocono. We're going back till everybody's a little bit more bread and butter here at 1.5 miles, and we've already seen some cars or trucks getting into each other. They're starting to spread out, but thanks for asking, man. Thanks for having me back up here. NASCAR is awesome. Thanks. This is awesome, dude. I can't say awesome enough. Awesome, awesome, awesome. You can say, I sound like the Miz right now. Awesome.
Privilege is all ours, man. Thank you for being here in the broadcast booth. We're watching the opening laps here in stage 1 of the Horsepower 225. Jade Burr is the race leader. Charlie Irwin, the in-race reporter, in second. Right behind him, Stephen Corley is in third. The blue and black Chevy Silverado that you see, that is Dakota Bruv. He has a win this year. He's locked into the playoffs, but he's one lap down in that 52, not scored in fourth.
Love the paint scheme on that 99 leading up front as we see the 45 pulling in that draft. Kentucky, a little bit different of a track. You can pull down below that yellow line, cut a couple tenths off. There's 2-3 different lines you can run in each corner depending upon where you are at, how the draft pulls you in, what kind of momentum you are at. 45 goes to the inside of 99 for the race lead as we're talking about it right now. Kentucky is an exciting track to be at.
It really is, because there's speed in both grooves. You can find speed up top, but mostly after you make a couple of changes on pit road, especially in these preset type of truck races. Charlie Irwin, though, nevertheless puts the 45 Chevy Silverado out front of Jade Burr in the 99, and it's funny you say that mention Jade Burr's paint job. He's been given many compliments about that paint job all season long.
I got it tattooed on my side. It's called High, Wide, and Handsome. K-Taddy and I, Kevin Tattersall, we call it HWH. That line can and will work here tonight, depending upon how your entry level is. You might want to back your corner up just a little bit. 45 pulls away from the 99. Two trucks behind him still pulling in. But I'm just super excited because, guys, what we saw at Pocono, everybody is more familiar with tracks like this. Let's see how it all pans out, Timac.
Charlie Irwin dives down to the bottom, lets the truck drift up a little bit there. Prefers to run the center groove, it looks like, coming out of turn 2. Now he thunders into turn 3. Has about a 5 truck length advantage over Jade Burr, and it looks like it's slowly growing. Charlie's going to gain a little bit of ground here on a lap truck. Looks like it's CD Derby in the 8. 2019 NOSSCAR Street Tech Series champion. CD Derby boy about to go one lap down here in a couple of laps, and we're about to see a good battle for the second and third positions, it looks like, between Jade Burr and Stephen Corley.
Jumping on board with the
versus Toyota Tundra. Sorry, Puddin', go on.
Oh, jumping on board with the 2 Chevrolet, our previous Pocono winner. Heavy damage to the vehicle already. He's pancaked both sides of it. I don't know if there was something that we missed earlier. Jumping in just a little bit late, trying to click back. But yeah, it's a little Toyota on Ford crime happening up front.
Jade Burr goes down pit road, and I'm not sure if this is scheduled or if this is a bit of a gamble. It must be sort of a scheduled pit stop, because Josh Colm-Diaz in the 24 comes down pit road as well, and they're often on different pit strategies.
Jumping back here, clicking through CK Taddy. Again, a guy I'm very familiar with, changed his paint scheme up, keeping that same number, battling back here with 2 or 3 different trucks. And trucks already starting to make green flag pit stops, like you just said. There goes the 13 on the inside, so I do believe this is a little bit of strategy on everybody's behalf.
They're definitely short pitting. They must see that there's really no way to save and make it to the end of stage 1 with 1 fewer pit stop, so I think some of these drivers are taking the time to utilize fresh rubber. Might be taking 2 tires and a splash on their first pit stop. We're going to have to see how this all unfolds. Jarrett Reese following Kevin Tattersall close there through 3 and 4. Your Dunson in the 51 just in front of them, as well as Peyton Larson in the 16. Most drivers that have shown good speed in the test sessions here at Kentucky Speedway are still on the lead lap and still in the running for this one. And with these 100% distance truck races and it on the lead lap and maintaining some decent track position for the final stage, especially on the restart for the final stage.
I'm on board with King 420 right now. I don't know if it's a lag spike. He's apparently getting really loose. Truck behind him backed off. Can't tell if that was lag or not. He pulls out 5, 6, almost 15 trucks apparently right now. Again, he got way loose. I don't know if that was a lag, but everybody's starting to get spread out, trying to find their groove, trying to find their momentum. Something we'll talk about a lot tonight, Mac, is momentum. You've got to be consistent and keep that momentum going at this track. If you go below that yellow line coming off of turn 1, it can be fast, but 1 inch in the wrong area and it will throw you off up into the wall. So everybody's got to be a little bit careful here. But great paint scheme on the King's 420's truck too, as we see 2-3 more trucks. K-Teddy I think was one of them, 3 going down there. 27 to the inside of 62. So green flag pit stops are being in effect right now.
You're right, it's becoming a busy place. Kevin Tattersall in the 3, Harold Burden in the 15, and there's a whole fleet of trucks behind Harold in the 15. CD Derby Boy, I believe, was one of them in the 8. He was about to go a lap down, so he might as well come on in and stick some fresh tires on that truck and see what he can make up here. Peyton Larson in the 16, Anthony Trippi in the 13, Jimmy Best in the 2. All these trucks are on pit road.
Got a little bit of a message, speaking of him, right, going to the outside of 12, the Piston Piper right there. That's the 20 truck of Robbie Vidge. He was super ecstatic to grab a top 3 with the talent that they had at Pocono, and he says, I want myself a W. I want a black and white flag to bring over here to England. He makes the pass to the outside of that 12 truck of Piston Piper, that 99 Haviland. Beautiful truck, pulls right up behind him.
Robbie Vids always brings a good piece every week here in the NOSSCAR Brighton Truck Series. Runs a part-time schedule, and anytime he comes out, he always seems to have something good for him. Looking for big things here in tonight's Horsepower 225. It would be his first career NOSSCAR Brighton Truck Series victory. He's still on the lead lap and in good shape. I don't believe he's been to pit road yet, though I could have missed it. It does happen quick here in the NOSSCAR Brighton Truck Series. And now, just as I say that, Robbie a little bit slow coming out of turn 2. He might be sputtering on fuel. He might have reached the limit in that 20 truck. He actually takes the pit road entrance ramp there, and he's going to make it to pit road, but he does lose a bit of track time, as you can see. Your done son in the 51 truck has done the exact same thing, I believe. He's also off the pace heading towards the pit road entrance. They're both going to make it, but both of them are going to lose a bit of track time.
Very respectful of him to jump down and hit that access road. We were clicking through a lot of fast trucks that we saw before, get in mishaps at the last race, working our way back up. Still seeing some damage on some of these trucks here too. The draft not quite as big of an effect, but it does help you out in certain circumstances here. Piston Piper is still right here in that 12 truck behind the O2, and we got Dave Rule back here in that 7 truck. A lot of these guys I have had the opportunity to race with in public lobbies before. Some of these I haven't, but my goodness, I'd be honored to race with any of these guys tonight. Look at them. Love that paint scheme on Trove with that 03. Love that custom paint scheme.
I always like the
very busy earlier. There was 7 trucks coming off the pit lane. I didn't mean to cut you off. 7 trucks I counted coming off the pit lane at one time. Max, sorry.
Oh, that's completely okay. Pit road, a busy place. These pit crews earning their paychecks early here in stage 1 of the Horsepower 225. Now Dakota Brev comes down pit road. We saw him go 1 lap down earlier in this race. In fact, very early in this race, he got caught up in an on-track incident, and here he comes for what I believe is his second pit stop of the race already. And just an update for the viewers at home, it looks like Anthony Trippi in the 13 is on pit road and motionless. It looks like his night is done.
Doing 100% on 3 times tire wear. Kentucky is one of those tracks, if you push your truck to the limit, it will wear out quick. How many people can conserve and how many people can save? How many people are going to make other people wear their stuff out? Let's see how strategy pulls out tonight in this 25 truck field.
23 of them are left on the racetrack, and now you're watching the battle for the lead. Jade Burr in the number 99 Ford F-150 trying to hold off Charlie Irwin in the number 45 Chevy Silverado, and they've got Stephen Corley in the 19 creeping up behind them. Keep in mind, Jade Burr in the 99 has no wins this season in the NOSSCAR Brighton Truck Series. He would love to change that. Here tonight in the Horsepower 225, he's being hounded and chased by Charlie Irwin, who holds 4 here in the 2020 season. And of course, we mentioned earlier tonight at Pocono, Stephen Corley in the 19. A tremendous run there for him. He was looking for his first win of the season as well. The only difference between Stephen in the 19 and Jade in the 99, Jade's above the playoff cut line based on points. Stephen in the 19 is not. Stephen really needs that win here tonight.
Watching a little bit of the battle back here with the Custom 09 of JRD99 in the 24 truck. They are going battling back and forth, like you said, especially if you have more than one win and you're comfortably above that cutoff line, you are free will to experiment a little bit. Some of these guys, not so much, have to push their limits tonight. Kentucky is a tough track. It is demanding. These straightaways in the corners, if you don't hit them right, they can upset your truck, even though there is 2-3 different lines to run there. We'll see how everything works out for these guys. The higher line might be able to save some tires, not necessarily fuel. Good a good drive off of, but the opportune passing opportunities, let's say that 3 times, opportune passing opportunities, Timac, would be on the inside going into the corners.
A real tongue twister there, Puddin', that's for sure. But you're right, there's a lot of drivers taking completely different lines around this racetrack. And there are certain ways to drive these corners and to conserve the tires and still maintain a good speed, and there's ways to do it in all of the grooves here at Kentucky Speedway. It's what really makes this event an exciting one on the 2020 schedule.
Something a lot of people out there don't know too, some people might be playing a little conservative, might be running a little bit of a tighter slider. Some people say, hey, I know what to expect out of a truck on a ×3 tire wear. Trucks are, as we know, a lot more difficult to get to get it to rotate and get it to turn. Not wondering if some of these guys, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trucks as I talk about that, are running a higher slider, knowing that they might burn stuff out, knowing that they're going to have to come to pit lane more often. But to get that truck to handle better on long runs, is that part of their game plan? Did some people go a little bit tighter, try to make it a little bit longer on loose tires? Let's see how it all pans out. This is going to be exciting. Counting correctly.
I believe you are, actually, and this is a wild race when it comes to tire wear. We knew it would be. Kentucky Speedway very hard on the Goodyear Eagles. Charlie Irwin leaves his pit stall, and Jay Burr still on pit road. I wonder if Jay got a pit road speeding penalty, or there might have been a bit of strategy deployed by the number 45 team, who also happens to be our in-race reporter. Charlie Irwin, we're calling it down to you. You don't need to give your strategy away, but answer us this. Did Jade get a pit road speeding penalty?
No, and I am going to give my strategy away. I took 2 tires.
Ah, okay,
there you
right.
go.
Touche.
Now, on a track like this, I would want 4 freshies and a belly full of fuel every time. I would want those 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles any chance I had, because of how abrasive this track is. That means that gives you the opportunity to drive that truck harder, longer, but at the same time, more pit stops. So, again, strategy, but anytime you can get 4, that would be what I would be doing tonight, especially in a truck, trying to get that thing to rotate and turn.
It's going to be interesting how this all cycles through. In-race reporter Charlie Irwin, how many laps to go?
Coming to the line right now, so...
Yeah, we're watching you.
Let's see... 9 laps to go in the stage.
Ooh, okay, so only 9 laps for Charlie to hang on, and I believe that when this all cycles through, he will be the leader. Is it showing you out front?
I'm in 9th right now. Some guys have not come in to make their pit stop yet. So I think I will be, since I'm about 6 seconds ahead of Jay since I took 2. But we'll see. Some of these guys know how to save some fuel. It was only about 3 laps, so we'll definitely be able to see.
Who do you
Saving
have
tires
as the
and
leader
fuel
right
here
now?
is difficult.
Who do you have as the leader,
Stephen
Charlie?
Corley. Stephen Corley.
So Stephen Corley really putting on a clinic here. He's given his best run and putting his best foot forward. 2 races in a row back-to-back where Stephen has had a great chance at walking away the victor. He nearly won at Pocono Raceway earlier tonight, and now he's looking to capture the win at Kentucky Speedway. He's yet to come down pit road for his last pit stop of stage 1. So it's going interesting to see where he cycles through in terms of track position after this cycle of pit stops, because as you know, Puddin, track position is key, especially once we get closer to the final stage.
Yeah, unlike Pocono, where you were unlikely to go a lap down, you can go a lap down, if not more, if you get that speeding penalty going on the pit lane. You have to be cautious about that, so strategy comes into it. I'm on board right now with Robbie Vidge chasing down that 19 truck. The 19 kid to come down. We saw a little Toyota and Chevrolet crime right there. Who can hold on to these tires as they wear out, especially on 3 times tire wear? Not necessarily a super easy pit lane to get onto, not necessarily super easy to pit off to, but you've got to go through the gears, get on them binders, get down. A pit lane speeding here will be detrimental because you can go to lap down super easy if you do that.
Sorry about this, but Stephen Corley has made his way down pit road, and now Piston Piper has taken the lead in the 12 truck.
Piston Piper, one of those guys that I've raced with numerous times, fun lobbies, public lobbies, in other league races. Piston Piper is one to be contended with. He has great strategy. Let's see who can hold on to these old tires as everything's starting to wear down. At your earliest convenience, next time you have the availability, can you give the viewers out there an idea on how long a fuel/tire run will last here? Because like I said,
yes,
we're seeing 3 or 4 pit stops already in the first stage.
Yeah, I believe it'll be. I believe it's 16 laps, but I will definitely confirm that once this stage ends, because I'll definitely be pitting for tires. I'm sure everybody will, and gas and fuel and everything. So
perfect. Jason gets in the 12, surrenders the lead. He leaves his pit stall. I believe it was right side tires, maybe 1 can of fuel, maybe half a can at this point. Not much fuel needed to get you to the end of stage 1. Only 3 or 4 laps to go.
Your done son coming to the line as the leader, about 4.5 seconds in front of me, gaining on him very quick. 3 laps to go here in Kentucky.
3 laps to go, but at the end of the stage, we'll bring the green and white, put it in the air after that. Positions and points and stage points are very critical coming into the chase coming up with you guys. This is awesome. Like I said, thanks for having me up here. I know I jumped in a little bit late, but watching all these races, look at the strategy and the points championship that we got going on. Some people locked in, some people not. Time hack. Guys, this is awesome. Woo, I'm getting all pumped up again. I haven't got to do this in a couple of weeks. Took a little bit of a break, but I'm getting right back into commentating mode, just as exciting as this racing is.
Now you know how I feel every Tuesday night for NOSSCAR Brighton Truck Series action, and we have a new race leader. Charlie Irwin takes the lead from your Dunson. Under 2 laps to go now. Dunson just looking to hang on and survive until the end of the stage and hold on to whatever track position he can get. He's not going to get the stage 1 win, but it's definitely going to help him get track position overall. White flag is in the air for Charlie Irwin until he wins stage 1.
Pit lane is now closed. Everybody has gentleman's rule. Do not do that. You will be watched. Penalties will be assessed. So how many people came in on that 3rd lap to go, but not 2? But yes, the 2 truck looking very good. Got some damage on the front of it too at the same time.
There is a couple of trucks 62. That are contenders that have some front-end damage. They definitely will be looking to repair that at the end of stage 1. Charlie Irwin exits turn 4, clean, smooth as silk. The Watermelon Man wins stage 1 at Kentucky.
There he goes, the Watermelon Man. Love that. He just explained that. And that is a cool nickname. Congratulations on your stage win, man. That's awesome. Again, The Miz, that's awesome. This is so great, guys. So many people out here. I mean, it makes me want to put my fire suit on, strap in, and bring my truck out and see what I got against these NASCAR fast boys.
Now you know how I feel as well. Yeah, that's what I do from time to time. I run part-time because it's hard to sit here in the booth and watch 25 to 30 trucks on the track, all of your good buddies going at it for the win. You really want to be out there and involved, but you also love kicking back and watching the action as well. Charlie Irwin, give us the top 5 when you have a moment.
So it'll be me, Dasher Cash. Steve-O gets second after passing your Dunson, who was just trying to save fuel, hang on to his car for the stage so he can get pretty amount of go to stage points. Jade Burr rounds out 4th, and Jardy, 99, is in 5th. And we get 17 laps on fuel, but use about, I'd say, a lap, maybe 3/4 of a lap of fuel on the long run.
Sorry, T-Mac, I have to say it, especially that I'm getting excited. Rack 'em and stack 'em. Green flags in the air. Stage 2, 45, 51, bringing them down. 51 misses a gear or lags, causes a big causes a big collision behind him. The 99, that beautiful truck, gets pushed back a little bit. Here comes the 19, right behind the 45. Truck on the outside. They are 2, 3, 4 wide. We're 5 wide again, T-Mac at Kentucky. We just saw it. Starting to pull them back in, going into 3 and 4.
Now I can
Still
believe
2 and 3 wide.
I could believe 5 wide at Pocono, but 5 wide at Kentucky, I had to see it to believe it, and they made it through, folks. 23 trucks rather, are still on the racetrack here at Kentucky.
That's the talent of what NASCAR has over here. If you want to come race, you want to come try yourself out, get a hold of T-Mac, get a hold of some of these guys, come see what you got, because boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, cats and dogs, we just went 5 wide at Kentucky. 14, 45, and 19 starting to pull away just a little bit. That 45 track exactly where he wants to be. No pressure behind him. 6 trucks behind him is where the next guy is. 19 truck pulling down on him. He can run his line. That's Dash. That's our in-race reporter right now. He's got clean air. Doesn't have too much to worry about, but that 19 truck is looking fast. Everybody else is still battling 2, 3 wide back there. Running those multiple lines, which we talked about earlier, T-Mac.
You're right, Charlie Irwin hugged the yellow line through 1 and 2 that time, had a good run coming out of that corner, but Stephen Corley is in his draft and within striking distance, and if Charlie should be a little worried at this point. Stephen needs a win to advance to the playoffs, and this has been his best race so far of the 2020 season. One mistake there by Charlie at a 4, and Stephen Corley is there. Battle for the lead. Stephen goes high up towards the outside wall. He's going to diamond the corner after overdriving the entry a little bit. He loses a truck length now to Charlie Irwin. The battle has died down, and Josh Colm-Diaz in the 24, Jarrett Reese in the 09, they're on their way.
I still want to know who had one job. You had one job. Paint a straight yellow line down the straightaway here at Kentucky, and it's not always like that. Those guys dive below it, save a couple tenths. They're starting to spread out. Still 2, 3 wide, a little bit further back in the pack. Our in-race reporter in that 45 truck. Beautiful truck. Love the Chevrolet pulling out right now. These guys trying to track him down. These guys got to work together again. Don't work against each other to try to hunt the person down in front of you. Race the racetrack, not the racer.
They're definitely not racing the racetrack in the mid-pack range here. Jimmy Best, Peyton Larson, Jason Pitts, Thomas Geyer, Kevin Tattersall, Tony Camerata, Jeff Parker, Keith Ayers, they're all right here. 2 by 2 for the most part heading into turn 1. This is a battle just inside the top 10.
Jumping on board with the two truck, our previous Pocono winner. They've got, car goes around. That's
Thomas Geyer in the
20.
62. Yeah, Thomas in the 62. Jeff Parker in the 44. 2 truck incident. I think there was a third, a white truck that really had to take evasive action to avoid contact, and it was Keith Ayers in the white and black 98 Ford. Yeah, 3 truck incident here in stage 2.
Love how you said that again in the Air Force. I was not a fighter pilot. I worked on the airplanes, but something you would always tell yourself, evasive maneuvers, squadron leaders, evasive maneuvers. You have to pay attention, situation awareness. Everybody, especially on a track this tight and with people so close, you've got to be careful. Watching this 2 truck come up on the inside of that 3, that's K-Taddy, Big Puppy, coming up on the inside of him. They had a 6 truck battle. Truck got loose. Now it's down to 3 truck back here. They're still working on each other. They are pushing and grinding, trying to get themselves up front.
Meanwhile, back up front, Charlie Irwin is the leader, and he's put about a 6 or 7 truck length advantage over Stephen Corley, and now Josh Colm-Diaz in the 24 knocking on the door for second place from Stephen Corley. Josh in the 24 picked up a Truck Series win earlier this season at Texas Motor Speedway to lock himself into the playoffs, and he would love to add a second win to his total. But again, keep in mind he's got to go through Stephen Corley, and Stephen is not going to be easy to beat here tonight at Kentucky Speedway. He does not want to be denied, and he refuses to be denied here in the Horsepower 225.
King 420 just coming off the pit lane. Don't know if that was an accident. Don't know if he got spun out just clicking through the field. Everybody back here. Like I said, man, this really makes me want to strap my helmet on, guys. Jumping on board with Piston Piper right behind him. He's got 2, 3, 4 trucks behind him, and then another 3 directly probably about 2 seconds behind them. So this could shape up to be a 7-truck battle for position up here right now.
Jason Pitts in the 12 has had a great run since the drop of the green flag. He's in the top 10 right now. I believe he's in the 8th position. Peyton Larson right behind him in 9th. Tony Camerata in the 27 and 10th. And I'll tell you, Jason is looking back at what looks like a hornet's nest. It is a war zone behind him, battling for that 9th position. Peyton Larson and Tony and Keith all right there fighting with Jimmy Best and others.
Robbie Vitz in that 20 goes to the outside of that 51. That 51 we all know is used to be Kyle Busch Motorsports, the Rowdy Burns of a certain movie that we all like, battling with that custom 8-truck right there. Great battle back here. You can't click through and not find anything. Everybody is struggling so hard, but they're battling at the same time. Let's see when pit strategy comes into play for these guys, because you gotta be believing that these tires are starting to wear off as hard as they're driving these trucks, Tomac.
Oh yeah, you know pit strategy is going to be a big part of who wins the horsepower 225. It's also going to be a big part of what the track position for these drivers looks like at the end of stage 2. Because you're right, when they're pushing these trucks to the limit, inside, middle groove, outside groove, and these tires are wearing rapidly. Fuel and tire wear times 3 for these NOSSCAR Brighton Truck Series races. And with 100% distance races and no cautions, it becomes very much a tire conservation race, as well as maintaining a good speed.
It's almost like a poker game. It's strategy. Who can bluff who can stay in the longest, who can stay out the longest. These guys are doing such a great job. As we see the 20 to the outside of 51, these guys have a great battle back here. Kind of hard to click off with that. I want to see this other action, but these guys are 2 by 2, have not left each other's door handle, going through down the straightaway. Robbie Vitz in that 20 to the outside of that 51, still right there, gets a little bit of drive. That's that high line working for him. He's able to clear the 51. The 51's going to make the move back to him. Try to dive it down to the inside. A little bit of traffic in front of him, slowing up Robbie Vitz just a little bit. 98 and 27 right ahead of him. They have their own battle going on.
And this is where it becomes a lot about the draft and the momentum. You saw Tony Camerata and Keith Ayers side by side just in front of Robbie Vitz and your done son, and look how quick they were able to close in, and now before you know it, it's a 4-5 truck battle for position rather than a 2-truck battle.
Now, Timac, you know these guys a little bit better than I do right now. I'd love to get to know each one of these drivers a little bit better, like the other league. I do get to commentate. How many are on a wheel? How many are on a controller? How many have a clutch pedal? How many can save? Can you give us any insight on that?
I know that about, I would say, 60 to 70% of these drivers do run a controller. A lot of these drivers have given up on running a wheel system because it's expensive to get a really good wheel and pedal system. And when it comes to saving fuel and conserving your stuff and being there at the end, trouble for you. Harold Burden in the 15, he's known for doing that, and he's got a few wins under his belt a couple of years ago, especially on NASCAR 15 for strategies just like that. And then you want to also talk. One of his wins earlier this season was based on fuel mileage, so watch for him to make some sort of gamble and some sort of strategy call if it comes down to it. Those two drivers are the ones that really like to take those gambles, Harold Burden and Jade Burden.
Pit lane now starting to look like the I-270 of Columbus, Ohio, the outer belt. Pit lane is very, very busy right now. MP Roofer from another league that we participate in has a clutch pedal, and he has exaggerated the fact that he can push it. A lot of trucks. I mean, this is one busy pit lane. Hopefully these guys do not encounter that AI interaction that we were talking about earlier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 15 trucks. 15 trucks now coming down the pit lane, Timac. Everybody trying to stick with each other.
This might be the busiest we've ever seen pit road here in an NOSSCAR Brighton Truck Series race. Aside from maybe pit stops during the end of a stage break, your done son, Charlie Irwin, Jimmy Best, Peyton Larson, Jeff Parker, Jarrett Reese, Jade Bird, Derek Roberts, Anthony Trippi, Ayrton Frederick, Dakota Bruv, they're all on pit road, and others. These are just the ones that are in the camera frame, folks. Pit road is a busy place. Jason Pitts, Robbie Bids, and others all on pit road getting service.
Just saw that beautiful custom orange truck get into a little altercation on pit lane again. Not their fault. No harm, no foul, except for the harm and foul comes that they do get adds a little bit of time. They have no control of that. We all know that. 99 in that beautiful Haviland truck pulling back out. 15, I'm jumping back on him with board with him. He has always been a contender. Right behind him, our in-race reporter, 54 or 45, excuse me, making an inside move.
Battle on the track, Harold Burton in the 15, Charlie Irwin in the 45, Stephen Corley in the 19, just behind them, and then it is Josh Colin-Diaz in the 24, not too far behind them, and you're basically watching what's going to be the battle for the lead once the cycle of green flag pit stops is complete, and it'll be between Charlie Irwin in the 45 and Stephen Corley in the 19. I don't believe Harold Burton in the 15 is going to be on the lead lap when this cycles through. In-race reporter Charlie Irwin. Is Harold Burton in the 15 on the lead lap with you?
No, he's not. He's actually in 15th. So.
Oh, okay.
15 and 15th. What a coincidence number to happen as we jump back over to that 45 with dashboard catch, which is yourself. You want to talk about irony, 15 and 15. How often do you get to say that? You don't get to say that very often, guys. There is so much action, especially coming off the pit lane. I have never seen that many trucks come to pit lane in any type of thing. Like you said, even here in NASCAR, this is my second opportunity to commentate, which I can't thank you guys enough. But everybody trying to stick with the person in front of them, not trying to get a leg up, just trying to outdrive each other in the later runs on worn tires. Because you can go lap down here very easily. We talked about that earlier.
You can, and I think a lot of these drivers are not really looking to gamble quite yet. I think a little bit more of the gambling is going to come in the final stage when there's a bit more on the line. These drivers that are on the lead lap and showing good speed, I think just want to maintain what they have, knowing that Charlie Irwin is probably the class of the field, and they're going to need to maybe make some adjustments if they're going to have anything for NASCAR's Watermelon Man. In-race reporter Charlie Irwin, are you the race leader right now, or are we yet to finish the cycle of pit stops?
I am the race leader. Stephen Corley is in second. I believe he is trying to save tires and fuel. He came in a little bit before me, so I think he may be a half a lap to a lap short.
Ooh, and that's
Can he conserve? Can he save?
It's hard to save at a track like Kentucky, especially in these trucks. They're very heavy, and they really wear these tires out, especially when fuel and tire wear is on ×3. There's really no safe line to take through these corners. There's some bumps over in turn 1 that you need to deal with if you take the bottom, and if you take the top, you're a bit more prone to having the truck swing sideways on you, and that really does wear the right sides out even more, and it's that right front that you want to try to take care of if you can. Stephen Corley trying to do just that and survive until the end of stage 2. He's got Jarrett Reese in the 09 gaining ground on him, and a couple of others right behind Jarrett.
We've got great racing all through the pack, and yes, conservation, that is a big thing here. That high line, you can save a little bit, but driving it in, on that low line, you wear it out. Do you want to gain? Do you just want to maintain? Points are a big factor right now. We're not even through stage 1 yet, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be great to the end, and I'm still not over how many trucks I just saw on pit lane. I'm not over it. That was incredible.
Yeah, that was really something. That has to be a NASCAR Brighton Truck Series record. Pit road was full. It's like going into the gymnasium in your local town there and seeing the max capacity sign that you used to see in the 90s.
Yeah,
we reached
right?
that
Yeah.
on pit road.
My thing is now, if this was a Bristol race with this many trucks, does everybody pit on the front stretch, or do you have to go to the
I'm
back
sorry to
stretch?
cut you off. Yeah, Peyton Larson, your done son, Trent Nielsen, and Robbie Vids. 4-truck incident on the back straightaway here at Kentucky.
You're done,
Man,
son, in
that
that
sucks for
51.
a couple of those drivers.
Yeah, your done son in that 51 truck was obviously strong in both races so far. Unfortunate for him. Just take a deep breath. Don't retaliate. Come back. We've still got another stage going. Everything, long distance racing. Pace yourself. So these guys can come back.
It's a shame seeing Trent Nielsen get that 03 Chevy Silverado all banged up. Really nice paint job on that Chevy Silverado. He brings it to pit road. It looks like he might have got the worst end of the 4-truck wreck he got the worst end of the deal, and he's going to take the time to repair that damage.
And as I'm clicking through, I can't tell if he's on pit lane. I don't see it lurching back and forth. I don't hear any engine sounds. I think King 420 might have had a transmission, motor issue, lag issue, something, but that poor gentleman is out of the race in that beautiful truck. I do like that custom truck, and we've talked about him quite a few times tonight, so unfortunate for him.
Yeah, it's a tough break. He's one of the guys in the garage area everybody likes to talk to. He always gets everybody cheered up and laughing. He's a good guy, and it's tough. It's always a shame to see him parked on pit road before the conclusion of these races, whenever it does happen, because it doesn't happen too often. He does go out there and wheel it to some good finishes.
Unfortunately, though, you know, participating myself in commentating other races and stuff, technology does come into a factor, and it kicks people out. I saw a guy leading a race, and he got lagged out one time, so that's unfortunate for him. Jumping on board with this beautiful 24 truck of NASCAR King, he's trying to track this truck down in front of him. A little bit of damage, not too much. I think that's the 09 in front of him. Again, trying to flip through my notebook here. I'm trying to write everybody's name down just to give this a little bit so I can call people by their name, not their number. But he is tracking this custom truck down in front of him quickly.
Jarrett Reese in the 09 doing a terrific job, keeping a good gap in front of the 24 of Josh Colm-Diaz. And now before the cycle of pit stops, Josh was running in the 3rd position in the 24, having a great run. Only a little bit of damage to that truck, and it's at about the left front section of the truck. It looks like it'd take all of about a second to repair at the end of this stage. Charlie Irwin, what is the top 5 looking like? Can you maybe list us the top 5 without getting distracted, of course?
It'll be me, Stephen Corley, Jardy, NASCAR King, and Piston Piper.
All right, thank you. So the battle that you were just commenting on, Puddin, is a battle for the 3rd position. Jarrett Reese in the 09, not really known for his mile-and-a-half success, but he's got that truck up in the 3rd position right now. And he's just in front of Josh Colm-Diaz, and there's the 12 of Jason Pitts. He's in 5th. Kevin Tattersall in the 3 runs in 6th.
As I'm clicking through, once again, English Robbie putting that 20 truck in the pit lane. We're already starting to see our 2nd round of green flag pit stops. Maybe he's got some damage.
He was involved in that 4-truck incident on the back straightaway, so he might be electing to short pit here and repair some damage, grab 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles, finish off the stage.
Yeah, and we talked about it a little bit earlier too, Ty-Mac. Tires here are a big thing. You can drive the truck, you can drive your car, whatever it is, so hard in the corners, but it wears them out. Goodyear does such a good job of bringing a great product to NOSSCAR here, but the harder you drive it, the more it wears out. On board with Jay Bird and that beautiful 99 Hapland truck makes a great inside pass on the 27. I do believe, or I think that was position. I can't remember though. Excuse me again.
It is a battle for position. It's a battle for position just barely inside the top 10 between the 99 and the 27 there, and teammates at Fatal Motorsports. And I was just watching another battle here as well. Kevin Tattersall in the 3, Jason Pitts in the 12. They were just battling for position with Josh Colm-Diaz, and now they have since then left the 24. And now it looks like Josh is slowing coming out of turn 4.
Oh, did he run out of fuel? The 19, or is that the stage?
No, that is the stage, but he definitely ran out of fuel, and I think that Kevin Tattersall might have got Stephen Corley right at the line. In-race reporter Charlie Irwin, what do you got?
Well, it hasn't loaded up yet, but no, we did not. Jardy finished as 2nd, Stephen Corley 3rd, Kevin Tattersall 4th, and Piston Piper 5th.
Wow.
Like I said in the last race, it's a little bit of a tradition. You know, I gotta say it, we're gonna rack 'em and stack 'em. We're going stage 3, Kentucky-style truck racing here in NOSSCAR.
Time to find out who's got the horsepower, folks, and these drivers have a good opportunity here at the end of stage 2 to make some adjustments, repair any damage that they have, and send them out. And as you said, man, I love that saying that you have rack 'em and stack 'em 2 by 2. We're going to thunder into turn 1, and we're going to see how it all plays out.
Going into turn 2, especially on restarts, the truck's got You gotta hold on to it. They get way wiggly, especially in that draft. Everybody gets a little bit inconsistent. Here we go. Let's see who can hold their line. Are we going to see 5 wide racing again already at Kentucky? Here we go.
We just might. Green flag back in the air. Final stage of the Horsepower 225. Charlie Irwin, Jarrett Reese lead them into turn 1.
Thanks to our viewers out there in YouTube land. We do appreciate it. You guys are the reason why we do this. The 45 truck going down the backstretch. 19 truck pulling right behind it, giving him the giant shove. 2-3 trucks to the outside. 2-3, and I'm only seeing 4 wide right now, and I think that's 4 wide for that's 3 too many for some people.
The drivers running in second and third are both looking for their first career NOSSCAR Brighton Truck Series win, and they're there, folks. They've got good speed. They're 4 wide. Kevin Tattersall slid up into Jason Pitts a bit. Jade Burr was underneath them when that happened. They all fanned back out to 2 wide or better. Single file for the most part for the top 7 now. Charlie Irwin beginning to pull away. Stephen Corley, Jarrett Reese settle into second and third. Jimmy Best trying to hold on to 4th, but he's being challenged by Josh Colm-Diaz and Jade Burr.
DJ Darkness out there in YouTube land says, man, this is close racing so far. It's not over. Thanks for joining us, man. We do appreciate it. We still have many green flag pit stops to go. Let's see how this all pans out. That 45 truck looking really strong out front as that 19's trying to track him down. Little Chevy on Toyota crime for first and second, boys and girls.
Stephen Corley trying to feel out your race leader. He's been close to that tailgate a couple of times, but in the end he seems to start losing touch to the 45 machine. He's trying to change that, and there's no better time to do that than the final stage of the event. Charlie, Stephen, Jarrett, Jimmy, and Jay, the top 5. Joshua in 6th. It's the J show, apparently. A whole lot of J's in the top 5, and they're flying.
You talk about a flying J, that's the opportunity right there for sponsorship. These guys are still trying to pull away from everybody. We got great battles all the way through the pack, back of the pack. 2, now there we go. Still 3, 2, 3, 4 wide. Going down the front stretch, going underneath that yellow. On board with rock and roll right now. They just went 3 and 4 wide. 12 Carter, Piston Piper to the inside. 8, right to the outside. Both of them tap that wall. They stay in it though.
That was good stuff, you're right. Kevin Tattersall, Jason Pitts, your Dunn's son, Peyton Larson, Derek Roberts. They were all right there, and they were 4 wide for a moment. Robbie Vids and CD Derby Boy have the best seat in the house for all this. They're watching from the tail of this pack.
DJ Darkness says, hey, I need to get my Heat Port disc back from my buddy. I need to come race. Get that thing back. Come out here and race with us here in NOSSCAR. Look at this intense racing. Clean, competitive racing. A lot of participation from everybody. Oh, look at that. Rock and roll goes to the inside. Tries not to come up to the trucks to the outside. We know how hard it is not to hit that wall. And if you do, you come back down. You not only disrupt yourself or anybody else. These guys are still battling back here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 truck battle back here.
Now that puts a whole new meaning to the term and the phrase, searching for grip. Derek Roberts all the way down on the apron and looking for everything he could get. This is wonderful stuff, man. Back up front, Charlie Irwin leads. It's now Jarrett Reese in the second position trying to run him down. Stephen Corley has since then slipped out of the second position back to 5th. Jade Burr and Josh Colm-Diaz now hold 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, Stephen Corley was coming off a 2, and his truck just stepped out on him, and he was able to save it. Luckily on the backstretch, but he drops back to 5th.
There he is. We're getting a good look at him. He's got Tony Camerata, Jimmy Best, Jeff Parker behind him, and he's still right there with Josh Colm-Diaz and Jade Burr, so he's still in good company, still has a good shot at this. And speaking of Jade Burr and Josh, they're battling for that 3rd position now, trying to figure out who's going to make a run at Jarrett Reese. And Puddin', is it too late for these guys to start maybe drafting to see if they can catch the leader, or...
No, you can never say too late. You got to work with each other. Quit racing with each other. Try to get back to the front. It is not too late. These boys and girls out there trying to race. We still got green flag pit strategies going on. Cars in front of you can have accidents. It's never too late. Never lay off that hammer pedal. Stay up front. Try to get up front. Try to get any position and point you can.
The best thing for Jarrett Reese then would be for Jay Burr and Josh Colm-Diaz to stop battling for position and maybe catch him and push him. That might be the way that they catch Charlie Irwin. Charlie in the 45, long gone, has a commanding lead here in the final stage of the Horsepower 225, looking for his 5th win of the 2020 NOSSCAR Brighton Truck Series season right here on NASCAR Heat 4.
And seeing how you keep talking about these guys who have numerous wins, that is an impressive feat, seeing the competition that these guys have out there. Just to get one, let alone multiple wins, these guys are definitely dedicated to trying and getting everything they can out of their truck and putting their name at the top of NASCAR's championship season.
Yeah, and I'm not just saying this because he's in here with us as our in-race reporter. Charlie Irwin is one of those drivers that stands out. He's always got a shot to win. It's just a matter of putting all the pieces in place, if you will, which is, of course, easier said than done in these NOSSCAR Brighton Truck Series races, especially with the level of competition, and not only the level of competition, but the number of trucks on the track every week. We have 22 to 30 trucks. 32 trucks is the record, in fact. We have always a big participation level, as you said, for these races, which makes it really hard to win these races. The more drivers on the track, the worse your odds are of winning, because the more likely there's going to be another driver that clicks on something and is able to wheel it out there and do something tremendous.
And it's awesome to see so many of these participants from Giggity Racing coming over here to NOSSCAR themselves. Everybody, if you haven't already, hit, smash, and like that subscribe button. Everybody out here, come out here, test yourselves. They're always looking for new people. There are ways to get in. Can't just jump right in, but at the same time, let's see what you all got out there. We know we've got a lot of viewers out there right now. We can't thank you for you guys. DJ Darkness out there participating in the YouTube world. Thank you for out there typing back and forth. It's awesome to see this. Again, I just can't wait for this to be over because I want to strap my helmet on as we see your done son get a little loose coming off the turn in that beautiful Toyota 51.
He was off to a strong start, and then, as we saw there at the end of stage 2, he ran out of fuel. That lost him that one spot, and I was trying to fight back. See, the thing is, at Kentucky, once you get mired in traffic, it's really difficult to work your way forward, and now he's got a whole lot of ground to make up. He's just barely outside of the top 5. The next truck he would be battling with for position would be CD Derby in the 8 and Jason Pitts in the 12. There's a whole pack of trucks just in front of Dunson.
I don't want to put you on the spot. At your earliest availability, as we see the 16 car truck apparently coming down here, the green flag. Green flag stops are starting to open. Pit lane will be back open. Let's see how busy it gets. At your earliest convenience, can you give us a rundown of the points and who's still in the contention?
Absolutely, I'll get on that.
These guys still out here in Kentucky. Fun track. Trucks ran here for many years. Very abrasive. Numerous different lines. Pit lanes getting real busy. Let's see how this all pans out. Everybody, you're going to come down for 2. You're going to come down for 4. Me, as much. Pack that thing as full of fuel as you can. Give me 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles. Let's get back out there and hold off.
To give you a better idea on the point standings for the 2020 NOSSCAR Brighton Truck Series here on NASCAR Heat 4, Keith Ayers is your points leader. No wins, but has an impressive 13 playoff points, and he'll get more if he can win the regular season championship. Jimmy Best in the 2 truck holding 3 wins is in second. Charlie Irwin, 4 wins in third in the point standings. And then you have drivers like Jay Burr, CD Derby, Kevin Tattersall, Josh Colm-Diaz, your Dunson, Peyton Larson, Dakota Bruv, Nate Schultz, and Harold Burden, all above the playoff cut line coming into tonight's 2 events. Anthony Trippi, Dave Marks Jr., Jason Pitts, and Stephen Corley are all just below the playoff cut line, looking to break their way in. And now another thing to keep in mind, Wooden, Tony Camerata, Chris Ryan all have wins here in the NOSSCAR Brighton Truck Series, and they are going to be eligible and knock somebody out that has no win.
And that is a feat in itself. Just talking about those drivers, we have mentioned those names numerous times tonight and listened to the numerous wins. You can definitely tell who has put their work in dedicated themselves. Because trucks, guys, we all know, not an easy feat, especially if you're used to driving a car. These trucks drive a lot tighter, a lot less horsepower. Everything's different about them. So let's see how this pans out for them. But congratulations to those guys. But it's not over. Timac, we still got a long way to go. Some of these guys out here who may not have any points, may not even have any wins, can upset that a little bit and push these guys back who need those points.
And if there's a place that they can do it, it very well might be Kentucky. We mentioned earlier in the broadcast that first-time winners tend to happen at Pocono Raceway often. It did not. It backfired. Jimmy Best, the all-time wins list leader, was able to walk away the victor in that one. We're going to see if anyone has anything for Charlie Irwin here in the Horsepower 225.
You don't have to worry about that anymore.
And why is that? Charlie, what is going on? Charlie Irwin slow coming out of turn 2. What happened?
I was just going to say, a little frustration coming from our in-race reporter. Can we get an update there? Yeah.
The game made Ayrton Frederick pull out next to me on pit road, and I'm getting a push from
KO.
A very great person.
Yeah, KO in the 9 coming down to help Charlie Irwin. He must be aware of what's going on with before this happened.
Respect, though. Look at him do that. That's a lot of respect.
Yeah, it's a
I
nice
didn't mean to cut you
gesture.
off.
Good. No, that's okay. No, it's a nice gesture by KO. It's a great thing to do. But man, I'm just sitting here feeling terrible for Charlie Irwin. I know how it feels to be the race leader and have something that's completely out of your control stop you from winning that race. And looks like that's exactly what's going to happen to Charlie here at Kentucky.
Still haven't been able to get a loop around. They're still on the bottom side of that apron. Both of them going down more than a couple of laps, but for him to be able to do that and help him out, that says something. That's the camaraderie that NOSSCAR has for everybody.
And now I believe this hands the lead over to Stephen Corley, and he's being challenged for it. Jarrett Reese goes to the inside of the 19, and the battle for the lead is on. 2 drivers looking for their first career NOSSCAR Brighton Truck Series win, just bounced off each other and traded a little bit of paint going into turn 3.
Everybody trying to work super hard. No harm, no foul. Wasn't deliberate. Those guys definitely trying to fight for that W here tonight in Kentucky and get them points.
And what a move. Jarrett Reese puts the 09 Chevy Silverado out front. He was recently out of action due to medical reasons. Many of these drivers having Jarrett Reese tribute paint jobs, not only here in the NOSSCAR Brighton Truck Series, but in the NOSSCAR Street Tech Series on GTA 5 as well. And now it's amazing to see him come back, and not only come back, but lead laps and have a shot to win this thing. He's got Josh Colm-Diaz in 3rd, Stephen Corley in 2nd. 2 drivers in the top 2 looking for their first career win.
That's great to see him come back from his medical discrepancies. It's just awesome to see, and everybody in NOSSCAR come and support them. Again, we've had a couple people over in Giggity have some issues. Everybody stepped up. That's what friends do. This isn't just about racing. It's friends, it's family. It's not just a lifestyle. That is absolutely the best thing I've ever heard to hear that stuff, Dan. To see everybody come together, Timac. That is cool.
Jarrett Reese is on pit road, but it looked like he lost control and went down pit road. He might have even got a speeding penalty. Did Trent Nielsen in the 03 bump him down pit road?
Oh, no.
Oh, car hard in the wall.
That was Trent Nielsen in the 03. Yeah, I believe that Trent might have bumped into Jarrett Reese and put him down pit road. And, oh, that is a heartbreaker for Jarrett if that's the case.
Wow, that was tense. He was running so strong in that beautiful truck. Still seeing up here, I'm on clicking on board, just jamming over. I'm on that Jaybird. I can't get over that paint scheme. What a great paint scheme. But he is being hunted. He's got a bullseye on his back. That 19 and 24 are coming after him pretty good. Yeah, that was very unfortunate for that beautiful custom truck to unfortunately come in contact with that outside wall.
Yeah, Jarrett Reese was, I believe, bumped down pit road by Trent Nielsen, and that really puts an end to his hopes of winning the horsepower 225, especially if he receives the pit road speeding penalty. We'll have to see, but I believe that puts an end to his shot at winning. He'll still definitely get a top 5, top 10 finish, but yeah, it's not where he wanted to finish, I'm sure. Jay Burr takes over the lead in the 99 Ford F-150, and as you mentioned, Puddin, he's being hunted. Stephen Corley in the 19, Josh Cole-Diaz in the 24 are second and third, and don't look now, but the all-time record holder for most wins in the Brighton Truck Series is in fourth. Jimmy Best is coming.
That's a big bullseye on your back when you have that many wins. You're the all-time leader. Everybody wants to say, hey, I beat him. I took that. I did that. Even if it's one time, people still want that W. And look, you got 25 trucks, 23 still competing here in NASCAR, but the level of that everybody's at, just to get that many W's. I mean, listen to the people that you've repeated over and over how have numerous wins. These guys have dedicated and practice and practice and practice. We still got a 4-truck battle up here, for the, it's not over yet.
Oh yeah, in fact, it's heating up for second right now. Josh Cole-Diaz just took a look to the inside of Stephen Corley and then thought better of it. Didn't quite get the run he was hoping for, and see, the draft is so powerful and it's very much a momentum track. That opened the door for Jimmy Best in the 2 to make a move for third, and he takes it. If you get side by side here for too long, it really slows both trucks down, and that's what allowed Jimmy to get around the 24.
DJ Darkness said, that makes me happy that KO did that gesture. Again, the camaraderie here. People know what's going on. I know that our in-race reporter has a unfortunate circumstance right there. Ran out of fuel, but just be able to get that. So yeah, DJ Darkness, thank you, man. It was awesome. How cool is that to see? He sacrificed his night to help somebody else out.
It was very cool. I'm actually gonna confess I got my feels there for a little bit. I just cannot thank KO enough and those guys in that party, because I'm sure they were all telling him, and he was probably knowing by himself that if that didn't happen, I'm not gonna boast myself, but I would probably be fighting for that lead as of right now.
Oh yeah, you're not hearing any argument from us, that's for sure. You were the leader, and you had a clear and commanding lead. You seemed to have the fastest truck. You had the stage 1 win, the stage 2 win. All the pieces were coming together, so yeah, it's very unfortunate what happened.
Can you give us an update, Timac, of the races to come here in NASCAR in the Truck Series, the Brighton NASCAR Truck Series?
Absolutely. In fact, we're getting into the latter stages of the season, but I'll be back here with you shortly for a schedule update. Pit stops beginning. Peyton Larson was one of the trucks on pit road, and Derek Roberts in the 87 as well. Pit road beginning to become a busy place, and we're in the final stage, so pit stops and strategies are crucial. The longer the stage, the more playtime these drivers have to develop their own personal strategies, and with having no cautions being called, it's almost certain that it's going to come down to fuel and tire strategy. That's what makes it interesting.
I only bring that question up real quick for in-race reporter, just to see if he's excited about any of these upcoming races, that he could gain some of these points back that incident defaulted from 98, hard contact from the 98. Ooh. Coming off pit lane, bounces back up into traffic.
Big crash coming off of 2 there for Keith Ayers in the 98. Yeah, just like you said, he made heavy head-on contact with that inside wall, and his race is going to be pretty much done.
That might be the most damage I've ever seen on Keith Ayers' number 98 Ford F-150. A hard contact and heavy impact as well. You can see damage to the front, the left side, and the right side, the quarter panel there. 98 Ford F-150 on his way down pit road. And to answer your question about the schedule, 3 races remaining until the 2020 NOSSCAR Brighton Truck Series playoffs begin. These drivers will have their hands full with Road America next Tuesday, folks.
That's such a fun track.
Followed by Eldora.
Oh, can I join?
Oh, baby.
Come on, you keep talking my lingo, Timac. You're talking my lingo.
Road America and Eldora next Tuesday, folks. Don't miss it. NOSSCAR Brighton Truck Series Tuesday at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
If you need an race reporter, I promise I'll stay out of everybody's way. Two of my favorite tracks, again, being from Ohio, Mid-Ohio, Eldora, love those tracks. Been there both many, many times. And just Road America, one of my favorite tracks on the game. I'm not saying I'm the best, but I'm pretty proficient there. As we see Robbie Vitz coming down, looks like he's pretty slow. And we see the 09 of KO spun around on the backstretch too. But man, oh man, Eldora Air Road America one night. If you guys need somebody to help talk that race, let me know. I'll be more than happy to do that. Since I don't want to get in anybody's way and ruin points championships or nothing. But my goodness, I would love to participate in both those.
I think
KO coming down to pit lane.
Our plan for Eldora is to make sure that we fill it with the very best drivers that we can. It's a special event. It's a crown jewel for the NOSSCAR Brighton Truck Series. So yeah, grab yourself a truck and we'll see you next Tuesday.
If that's an invite, I'll be more than happy to publicly announce that I accept that invitation. So thank you very much. It's a great race. I've been to the first three before my wife and I started traveling. I did get to race my EMOT there once on a weekly basis. I wish I got to race my motorcycle there, but yeah, KO down the pit lane right now. So this race is still not over. Pit lane jumping back on right now with Probe 24 and that beautiful custom hit that wall outside really hard. A lot of hard damage to it. 19 going to the inside of him right now. Here comes the 99 right behind him.
Here's Jade Burr, you're right, in the 99. He's trying to run down Stephen Corley in the 19. Your Dunson in the 51 just in front of them. And now in-race reporter Charlie Irwin, we're going to ask you to read us out who the race leader is right now.
I actually just came in pit road, but I believe it's Stephen Corley. That's what I saw last.
See, I knew I was onto something. I was trying to track down the battle for the lead. Stephen Corley holds down the top spot. Jay Burr all over the tailgate of that number 19 Toyota Tundra. Jimmy Best in third in the 2 truck. And in the 4th position, it is Josh Colon-Diaz in the 24. He's been running inside the top 5 all race long, having a good run. But you're watching the battle for the lead.
Oh, the 03, I'm sorry to cut it. 03 hard around. Sorry to interrupt you. Hard on the backstretch. That custom 03 again makes hard contact. Did not mean to interrupt you. I was just so happened to be on board with him, and he is staying down, letting trucks go around him until he is clear to go. Did not mean to interrupt you, Timac. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's completely okay. I'm glad you caught it. I didn't see it. Trent Nielsen loops it over on the back straightaway, and he's had an eventful horsepower 225. Couple of drivers not too pleased with Trent Nielsen. He's made contact with the wall and a couple of other trucks, and his race has not went the way he's wanted it to, and he was coming back up to speed. Jimmy Best came flying up on him and made contact with the tailgate of the 03, and Jimmy's the one running in third.
We jump back on board with our in-race reporter in that beautiful 45 Chevrolet. He's looking very clean, looking very smooth. Coming up on the truck that's got some heavy damage on him. I believe that was the gentleman that helped him out earlier. I do believe it is. So the 9 custom truck has had a couple unfortunate circumstances since he's helped Dash, our in-race reporter, get back to pit lane, which again, mutual respect. And thanks again, DJ Darkness out there in YouTube land. That was a lot of respect, and I do know you appreciated it also there.
I can't get over how durable and how useful the shocks in these trucks are. You can see the truck laying down on the right side. You can see the weight shift over on the right front as it swings through these corners. It's very fun to watch that these trucks are getting used up here at Kentucky Speedway. Stephen Corley, the leader, or Stephen was the leader. Back up front, Jade Burr has taken the top spot, the 99 Ford F-150 out front. Jimmy Best has since then taken the 2nd position, so Jade, Jimmy, and Stephen, the top 3, with Josh Colon-Diaz in 4th, and Josh is reeling in the top 3 as well.
If you don't mind my saying, I'm glad you brought that aspect up. Watching these cars lay over, or these trucks, lay over, you can jump onto certain websites out there and find your quote-unquote custom setups from other people. Just because that setup doesn't work works for them, it may not work for you. But on trucks, it's a lot difficult. It's a lot more difficult. They get a lot more rear-end light, if that makes any sense, not rear-end heavy. So for these guys to come out and do this on a slider, custom setups for these trucks are a lot harder to set up, but it's great to see these guys on sliders tonight here at Kentucky after Pocono, straight just railing this track. We've seen a couple unfortunate circumstances, but it is awesome to see that splitter on the ground and these guys working that, putting that hammer pedal down and making these trucks go fast.
They're getting all the speed that they can, I can just about guarantee it, and we're watching one heck of a battle for the race lead here in the final stage at Kentucky Speedway. Jade Burr trying to hold off Jimmy Best. These two right here, Puddin, are arguably the most successful NOSSCAR Brighton Truck Series drivers in history. You've got the defending truck champ in the 99.
Oh, the two to the inside of the 9. Sorry,
and
go ahead. I'm sorry. No, 2 to the 99. 2 gets loose.
And contact was made, you're right. The two nearly went for an off-road excursion through all the way to pit road. And he saves
Sorry,
it.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's fine. Oh, that was a close call. What a save by Jimmy Best. That's
He loses a little bit
top.
of distance, but I think he lost a little bit of distance there, Time-Mac, but I think he can gain it back up. That is still a beautiful 99 truck, but that two Silverado is going to try to track it back down. Did not mean to cut you off. Contact was made. He gets loose, goes to the inside. Now he's got work to do. We have to be coming down to the final stages of this race.
Stephen Corley, Josh Colm-Diaz just dived onto pit road. Some strategy being deployed by those two, and that leaves Jade Burr and Jimmy Best running out there in first and second for now. Charlie Irwin, what are we looking like for laps to go?
I'm gonna subtract some laps here because I'm 4 laps down, but we are looking at 32 coming to 31, I believe.
Okay.
Leaders go to pit lane. Both of them make contact going to pit lane on pit lane entrance. 32 to go. Thank you for that update. But yes, both those guys make contact. 2 gets ahead of the 99 going into pit lane.
That tells
Again, sorry,
me...
I get so excited when I do
that's
this.
Fine.
I do.
These drivers, I believe, have one more pit stop after this one, and then that's going to bring them to the checkered flag for this one. And you're on pit road. They're going to be battling for the lead when they leave pit road. And Stephen Corley and Josh Colm-Diaz are going to be right there in the discussion as well.
I love how you say his name. Josh Colm-Diaz. I love how you say that.
Josh Colm-Diaz is one of the more passionate and dedicated drivers that we have here in NOSSCAR. He tries his very best every week when he gets here. I'm sure all these drivers do, but he does his research, he does his testing. He sends me a message about NOSSCAR racing at least once a day. He's always thinking about how to find a bit more speed at these tracks. He's a great driver to have here in NOSSCAR. There you see him in the
And
24.
after that pit lane strategy, in pit lane, we do have a lead change. That black, white, and gold deuce taken in front of that beautiful black 99.
You're right, the Golden Goose. Jimmy Best out front. Jade Burr follows him closely in second. Josh Colm-Diaz is in third. And that's a 3-truck battle for the lead. As you can see, Stephen Corley in the 19 is nowhere to be found in the frame. He runs in fourth, but he's about a half a straightaway behind this battle that you're watching.
I'm sorry to cut you guys off, but the 3 of Kevin Tattersall was actually the main leader at the time, but it's going to cycle back out to the 3 main guys you were talking about who should pass him about right now.
Okay, thank you, Charlie. So Kevin stretching the fuel. He's done that a lot before, but and in fact it's got him the win once or twice here in his NOSSCAR career. You know Kevin Tattersall a little bit better than I do, Puddin', it's safe to say. Tell us more about Kevin and how he races out there. He's a great driver to have.
As we say that real quick, 99 underneath the 2 takes the lead. K. Tatty is one of those guys. Mr. Kevin Tattersall is one of those proficient, stay back, hold your line, see what happens in front of you, patient drivers. I've talked to him recently. He has since tried to change his strategy just a little bit, but coming to NASCAR, he really wants to. He wants a couple more victories after he, like you said, he got last night. He's a very patient driver, just like Robbie is, just like some of these guys are, and sometimes it doesn't always work out for him. As we see Robbie Vitz going pit lane. K-Teddy has had himself a position to win so many times, and he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. But so let's see how it pans out. I'm anxious to see what Mr. K-Tad's got for us tonight.
We know for sure that he's going to be safe on fuel and tires. He's going to have to pit one more time, but so is everybody else. But he's been able to stretch those tires and that fuel a little bit further than the rest of the competition. Jade Burr, the leader, Jimmy Best in second, Josh Colm-Diaz in third. They have a safe distance over the rest of the field. And as of now, it really seems like it's going to come down to one of these three. We saw flurries from Charlie Irwin, Jarrett Reese, Stephen Corley, and others. But I believe that it's down to these three unless there's some sort of fuel and pit strategy that we've missed.
Are they going to push their trucks to the limits, or are they going to wear themselves thin? Especially right now, when you have somebody like that on your bumper, our previous race winner, numerous times this year in NOSSCAR. He has won. We got 99 up front. We got the 2 truck right behind him. Do you try to make him wear his truck out? Do you try to maintain your truck? How do you find that balance? As we see the 2 go to the inside, 99 to the outside. They are 2 wide, going through 2 and 3 right now. Or, 1 and 2, going down the backstretch. No, he pulls up. Still sticks to the inside. Cannot pull it off.
This is exactly what Josh in the 24 wants to see. He wants them side by side battling for the lead because that'll allow him to close the gap a little bit. They're still slicing and dicing.
Especially that gives him the opportunity with clean air to run his line. These guys are dicing. 2 goes back to the inside of 99. They are 2 wide going in 1 and 2. Still 2 with the inside line. 99 is going to have that high line momentum. Can he pull it off? Still the 2 cannot get it done.
Arguably the 2 most successful NOSSCAR Brighton Truck Series drivers in history going at it for the horsepower 225 win. And it's going to come down to who's able to make the move at the right time and who's going to have better tires at the end. Jimmy Best, being in the draft, might have a better opportunity at conserving those tires over the course of a long run and still maintain good position behind the 99. But he doesn't want to lift too much either, and I've noticed that Jimmy is starting to take a little bit of a different line through 1 and 2. He's able to pull that 2 truck all the way down to the yellow line and ride the left side tires on the yellow line in both turns.
Right as you say that, so does the 99, trying to take that air off, break that draft up, get that faster line. We got a little forward on Civic Crime. Dude, this is going to come down to the end, Timac. These guys are battling hard. Pit strategy might come into play. If it was me, I would pit with whoever's in front of me, pit with them so you're still with them. Do not get that pit lane penalty. 99 still pulling them down the straightaway right here. 2 trying to gain back onto him. Lost a little bit of ground.
Yeah, I think that if I'm Jimmy Best, I'm going to come down pit road when I see Jade go down pit road. When you're right there with him and you got a shot, you don't really want to do anything different at that point in case it winds up being what costs you the win. You want to be right there on the same strategy with him so you can battle it out even Steven. And now Jade Burr beginning to open up the gap a little bit to about 4 truck lengths, and both of them have opened up about a 15 truck length gap over Josh Colm-Diaz.
Right as you said that, I was going to say the same thing. Did he make him wear his truck out? Those 4 or 5 laps, did he cook those tires, trying to cool them down? Gets back to the high side. 99 still running that inside line, trying to take it the fastest way away from the 2 truck. 99 still out front in that beautiful paint scheme. Here comes that 2 Chevrolet. He's trying to be right there with him. Can they get it? Can he get it done?
Might be right, he might have used up his stuff a little bit, and Josh Colm-Diaz in the 24, he might have used up his stuff a little bit as well. There was a point when he was gaining on both of them, and since then he has fallen off. And I'll tell you, as a driver that's competing in the esports qualify round at Charlotte Motor Speedway, I've learned a lot about long run speed and having a good full run of good speed. And yeah, it's very easy on NASCAR Heat 4 to overdrive the entry to these turns, wear the tires out a little bit more than what you're maybe realizing, and before you know it, you've got to pit a little bit sooner than some of the others around you.
Yeah, definitely. You do not want to use your tires up. Is he backing off, trying to save his stuff right now, realizing that he did push himself a little too hard right there? 99 truck still out front. They are starting to pull away from the third place truck. 99 and 2 still right neck to neck. Nothing's over until it's over. Here comes the 2. 99 brings it right down to the yellow line, puts it back up in the middle, trying to save a little bit of tire. 2 truck trying to stay in his draft.
He's there in his draft. He's either lifting a little bit early to save his stuff, or he's having a difficult time running down Jade. It's going to be interesting to see. We know that they're closing in on another cycle of green flag pit stops, and it'll be the last round of the race. So he's going to want to make sure he's right there glued to the tailgate of the 99 when that happens.
I do believe I just saw the third place truck go down pit lane. Let's see how these guys work out. 2's coming back up on that 99 right now. Okay, cooled his tires off, saved a little bit. Let's see how these guys pull up. But I do believe the third place truck just went down pit lane. When are these guys going to make their strategy situation pit stops?
You're right, there he is.
Here
Josh
they come.
on pit road. Tony Camerata was on pit road in the 27 as well. Tony was in the top 10 before this cycle of pit stops began. And Stephen Corley in the 19, surrendering 4th. He's on pit road as well.
All right, we talked about it earlier. This is Kentucky. Legalized gambling can be happening down there. Who's going to throw their face cards? 2 trucks still starting to pull away. He's got some damage to the front of that. Is he going to stay out for at least 1 or 2? Try to put that lead truck a lap down, make him earn it back. Difficult situation to make right now. Running up a little bit higher than what we have seen him. And here we come, the 2 truck now to pit lane.
And he pits 1 lap sooner than Jade Burr. Jade is going to stay on the racetrack for the time being. Here comes Jimmy Best. He's got company. Ayrton Frederick in the 02 is on pit road. And we saw just 1 lap ago Peyton Larson and several others that are inside the top 10 on pit road for service as well. Final pit stops of the horsepower 225. And there you see him coming to a stop in his pit stall. It's going to be very interesting to see where he cycles through in comparison to Jade Burr and Josh Colm-Diaz on the racetrack. Remember Josh in the 24, short pitting by about 2 or 3 laps before these guys. And now Jimmy making his way to pit road now. And we're going to see when Jade Burr decides
contact
to
made on pit lane by the AIs. Yes, the 02 truck is now going through the infield again because of the AI. He had nothing to do with that, but that will cost him some time too. Your done son, he's right there. He's on pit lane. K-Taddy, he's also on pit lane. Strategy can work out for let's see how it pans out, but I'm it's so frustrating, and we've all been there and we've all had it happen to us. You have a good pit stop, you're in, you're out, and all of a sudden you get spun around of no fault of your own. That can cost you.
Oh yeah,
That 45 truck pulling up right now. Got that 45 truck pulling up on the inside of 19, excuse me. That's our in-race reporter trying to pull up on Steve-O.
We got a question
Chevy
for the
and
in-race
Toyota
reporter. Who is the leader as of right now?
Jade Burr in the 99 truck.
Alright, so we missed it then. Jade was already on and off pit road. I didn't see when Jade came to pit road, but it was not when Jimmy Best came. So, but evidently he came, and it was either the lap before or after. I believe it was after. And Jade Burr still holding the race lead here at Kentucky Speedway. And Jimmy Best has under 15 laps to make a move and run down the number 99 Ford F-150.
Go from my remembrance right now, my memory. What are we turning here? We turn anywhere from 29 to 31 second lap times? Is that correct?
31s actually. 30
Okay.
Low, or yeah, really low 32. Sometimes you can get it up into the mid 32s once your tires really start to wear.
So who can hold on to their tires? Who can make it work? I'm on board with the 12 of Piston Piper right now, looking really smooth. We talked about him a little bit earlier. Jumping back, here's Dave Rule in a 7 truck, running that real high line. He's got a lot of damage to that vehicle also. Jumping back here, clicking back. There's Robbie Vitz inside of, I do believe, is Rock. Let's see how that pans out for him too. But
Robbie going to
jump
pit
back
road.
here to see. Yeah, I'm trying to see who's back up here. Trying to get back on board with Jay Burr and that Honda 99 Ford. That beautiful paint scheme. Heavy damage to the front of it appears. I don't know if that is a glitch or not. 2 truck right behind them, so we are going to battle this out. They are right back tailgate to
I was
bumper.
gonna say, where did Jimmy get this? He just closed in about 2 truck lengths on Jade, and he makes a move to the inside through 3 and 4. The battle for the lead is on.
We are going to bring you some great racing here in NOSSCAR truck racing, Kentucky style, 3 times tire wear on sliders, 2 truck to the lead, new leader.
The 2 out front, Jimmy Best takes the point, but for how long? Jade Bird looks low, tucks back in line, they go into 3, Jade enters a bit of about a half a groove lower, he even used the apron there, and Jade is dropping a little bit. He's lost now about a truck length on Jimmy Best, and I don't know where Jimmy got this kind of speed, but man, he found it, and he's leading this one with under 14 laps to go.
I'm clicking through my notes real quick as though when people pitted, I don't know. I do believe the 2 has 1 more lap fresher tires. Thank you, Chris Pendle out there. He said 2 great commentators right out there. Y'all doing one heck of a job. And he's putting down lap times too. So thank you, Chris Pendle, for joining in the YouTube land. We are going to bring this one down. It's going to be a barn burner. No litter, quite literally here in Kentucky.
Dave Marks Jr. goes a lap down to the leaders. He gives way for Jimmy Best, and there you see him pulling to the outside to give way for Jade Burr as well. Jimmy Best has a commanding lead now. I guess, I don't know if you want to call it a commanding lead, but 5 or 6 truck lengths in the final laps at Kentucky. That's pretty good, especially when you were just running him down a few laps prior. What a run for Jimmy Best, not only to stay with Jade Burr, but to make the pass and now put a bit of distance in between those 2. If Jade was able to stay close enough, he could have used the draft to maybe make a move later on once his tires had cooled down, but it's a little harder to do that from a few truck lengths back. Sorry, Puddin, what were you saying?
Oh, no, I was just saying that one lap fresher tires might be the advantage. Depending upon how the 99 of Jay Burr in that beautiful paint scheme of that Ford tries to hold off. But that 1 lap tire, that gives him that advantage. He can push forward. He can put that hammer pedal down. Chris Pendle, once again, I said OH, he said IO. It's an Ohio thing, baby. Thank you for joining in, Pendle. We do appreciate it, but we are not over yet. That 2 truck now at least 15, 20 trucks ahead of that 99 for the lead. Can he pull off the duplicate tonight?
He's looking good, and very few NASCAR Brighton Truck Series drivers can say that they've won back-to-back and won both of the Brighton Truck races on the Tuesday night. Jimmy Best looking to do that here tonight. He had a solid run earlier in the Pennsylvania 150 at Pocono Raceway. Now looking for a repeat performance here in the Horsepower 225. Looking for his 9th career NASCAR Brighton Truck Series win, which would further extend his all-time record.
Especially, you went to 2 different aspects. You went from a 1.5 miles to a 2.5 mile track with 3 turns, 3 different bank turns. These guys had to go jump into a different mindset. Your driving style is so much different, Timac. Everything is so much different. I can't repeat that. And for him to go back to back, that would be impressive. The 99 starting to fall back. Not wondering if he's just going to conserve his equipment and say, hey, I'm going to take my points for the night and take what I got and run.
You're absolutely right. 2 very different tracks, 2 very completely disciplines of online racing. 1.5 miles from a 2.5 mile 3-turn course. Yeah, very impressive for Jimmy Best. If he can go out there and win this race, that would be a bold statement to all the drivers here in the NASCAR Brighton Truck Series. And after tonight, we've only got 3 more races left in the regular season before the playoffs begin for the 2020 season. So this would be big momentum at the perfect time for Jimmy Best.
27 truck going to the high side, letting the 2 of the leader go inside. A lot of respect right there. Some heavy damage. I don't know if that's the lag. I can't tell if that's a glitch, but there is damage on the front of that 2 truck. But the 27 going to the inside. They're going to come up behind another lap traffic car of 15. Lap traffic can be a factor here. Can that 99 track him back down?
It's going to come
We're gonna
down to
see how-
timing, I think. If he can get to the inside of these trucks at the right time, avoid contact, maybe even use the draft with some of these other trucks, Jade might be able to close the gap in just a little bit on Jimmy Best, or it might go the other way as well. Jimmy might be able to put a bit of extra distance in between himself and Jade Bird. Could go either way.
I believe this is going to be the final lap here in Kentucky.
White
as they
flag
come
in
to
the
the
air,
line.
it's in the wind.
They click off quick. I feel like literally a lap ago we were looking at 14 to go. Seriously. White flag is in the air. Jimmy Best thunders into 1 and 2 in the number 2 Chevy Silverado, looking to become one of the few NOSSCAR Brighton Truck Series drivers to win both races on Brighton Truck Tuesday. Heading into 3 and 4 now, takes the bottom conservative line, not risking anything at this point, and coming out of 4, the all-time wins list leader, Jimmy Best, the Golden Goose, wins the Horsepower 225.
He's going to take that beautiful black, white, and gold Chevrolet Deuce to the front. He did it at Pocono. He did it at Kentucky. He had that 99 Ford and that beautiful paint scheme we kept talking about all night long. I'm not over how good that car is. They had some competition all night long. Strategy came down to play. I think he held up, that one lap advantage that gave him the that gave him the green flag. That gave him the go ahead to say, "Hey, I'm going to put these 1 laps down, these 1 lap fresher tires down, and go for it, Timex."
They were both very evenly matched when it came to speed and when it came to determination, but that 1 lap of fresher tires really did prevail. I think that you're right, Puddin'. I think you hit the nail right on the head. Jimmy Best was able to catch Jay Burr, and he was able to complete the pass, put some distance in between himself and the 99. 8th career win for Jimmy Best.
8 career wins with the caliber of these drivers. That says something. That says a lot. So congratulations to him. He pulled off the double, 2 different types of tracks, and he did it with style.
Oh, I must apologize, folks. It's his 9th career NOSSCAR Brighton Truck Series win.
9th, even better.
Yes, it is. The list is not updated on my cellular device here from before tonight's races, and I remember he won the race earlier tonight. So 9th career NOSSCAR Brighton Truck Series win for Jimmy Best, and 5th of his 2020 season. He now has the most playoff points this season and the most wins this season, and he's going to take back the points lead from Keith Ayers as well. It was a big night for Jimmy
Chris Pendle
Best.
out there in YouTube land. Congrats to Jimmy Best on his win. Heck of a job. Live racing with him on Mondays in the Motor Master Series. Much love to him. So a lot of mutual respect from these other drivers out there too. So thanks, Chris Pendle. No Pit Pendle. Thanks for joining in, buddy. It was great to have you aboard. Let's get some of these drivers up here real quick. And Timac, thank you for having me up here. And thanks for being our in-race reporter. I've had so much fun. I haven't got to commentate in here just a couple weeks because I was taking a little bit of time off from giggity and stuff. But man, you got me excited. I'm ready to get back up in the booth and into the truck.
You're more than welcome here every Tuesday for commentary or for some truck racing, Puddin'. Absolutely. And now, please welcome your Horsepower 225 winner, going back-to-back here on Brighton Truck Tuesday, Jimmy Best. Jimmy, you just won 2 races in a row. You took the points lead back. You further extended your all-time wins list record, and you now have the most wins here in the 2020 season. Is it safe to say it was a good night for you?
It was a good night. I was not expecting anything close to a win again. I lucked into it. The winner of this race should have been the 45 truck. He was the class of the field. I have no idea what happened with him. I was understanding a pit road penalty or glitch with what went on with him. He was by far the fastest truck, and I lucked into it.
Without denying the fact, you were predominantly up front for a reason at both tracks. Now, we did take a little in-race or a commentator poll while you guys are racing. You won both of these tracks. Nothing to be denied. Which of these 2 tracks did you prefer or were looking forward to?
Kentucky more than Pocono. And I mean, and I got to go back to last season. I won Kentucky, so I'm always looking forward to coming back to this track. It suits my driving style a little bit, and it's always a track that I enjoy coming to, no matter what.
Well, congratulations on your doubleheader.
Thank you very much.
And that was Jimmy Best, driver of the number 2 Chevy Silverado, parking it in victory lane here at Kentucky Speedway here on NASCAR Heat 4, 9th career NASCAR Brighton Truck Series win. Puddin', that was one heck of a race. Do you have any final thoughts here on what we saw here in the Horsepower 225?
My thought and thoughts come down to strategy. That last pit stop by the 2 truck right there, that 1 lap pressure tire. Again, everybody could make it on fuel. I think 1 lap pressure tires, especially on 3 times, that gave him the advantage to lay that hammer down like we talked about a little bit earlier in the broadcast. But both races, 25 trucks, 22 competing all throughout the night, depending upon technology issues. What a great night here in NASCAR.
In-race reporter Charlie Irwin, any final thoughts before we sign out?
I mean, it just wasn't my time to win, and it was Papi's time to win. I'm super happy that he won. He's a great driver. I'm super happy that he was able to battle, have a great race with those guys for the win, and I'm happy for everybody that is not having the best of season that got great finishes tonight.
Good runs by a lot of different drivers, even the ones who didn't necessarily get the finishes they deserved. Definitely a shot in the arm and a boost of confidence for a lot of these drivers, such as Jarrett Reese, Stephen Corley, and others. From all of us here at NOSSCAR, we're saying so long, and until next Tuesday, stay fast, folks.
Y'all be safe.